Tonight, just before 6, we embark on our three-part investigative series, The True Payout to Panhandling. We've all driven past it before, the destitute beggar clenching a sign detailing the ills that have plagued his or her life. But few, if any, know the real story behind the face. One we discovered stands to make more money than you'd ever like to know. News Center 16's Kevin Lewis joins us now from the studio. A stark contrast from where he stood this time last week. Kevin?
Mo, braving the cold and public humiliation, I traded out my pride for this cardboard sign begging for compassion. My simple plea read, need money, need food, please help my family. Help, it turns out, is something I got plenty of, almost too much of. So much it became ironic. I, as a beggar, likely made more money than most of the people who donated to me.
Monday morning rush hour in December, and the rising sun does little to lighten the reality. I'm stuck on the streets, and it's 22 degrees. Bundled from head to toe at the intersection of 933 and Cleveland. Thousands of cars pass by, but not one drops a dime in my cup. So after 45 minutes, I pack up and cross town to a four-way stop at Brick and Gumwood in Granger. Here, traffic is slow moving and steady. Drivers have more time to be guilt-tripped by my sign and face. I sniffle and yawn before quickly earning my first donation.
Thank you. God bless.
A $5 bill.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Not 10 minutes later, I pick up my first 20.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for your kindness.
Just seconds after that, a different driver with another 20 in hand.
Right now I'm thinking to myself, so many cars pass me, but all it takes is, one or two an hour giving out $20, and I mean, you're golden.
Fact is, not 15 minutes go by.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good day. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Without someone
Ma'am, I appreciate it.
handing out
Thank you very much, ma'am.
some type of cash.
$3, $5 bill.
$10.
Last one was $20. It's amazing to me, though, that people would just shell out $20 out of their wallet, not knowing me from Adam, and just having a sign that says I need help and money.
As the day carries on, some donate advice
Hello?
in place of money.
Do you have a job?
I can recommend some places that I know that are hiring right now.
I would love that, yeah. If you have a pen or paper or anything.
Well, Burger King, The Outpost, Sports.
Hope Community Church in Niles.
Okay.
If you call them, they will deliver food to you.
But there's no need to call.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it.
I'm off. Have a nice day.
After this man delivers an entire bag of non-perishable food. Despite the common perception,
Thank you.
it seems at this corner,
Have a good day.
beggars
That's extremely generous.
really can be choosers.
Every little bit helps. Thank you very much.
Sorry I had to.
Oh no, God bless. I feel bad that last guy that donated to me looked like he really could have used the money himself.
In 8 hours, more than 3 dozen cars stop,
Thank you very much, sir.
donating everything from 45 cents
God bless you. Merry Christmas.
to 7 $20 bills.
Hi, how are you?
I showed my I promise.
Thank you very much. I promise to put that to good use. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
The grand total, $300. That's more than $37 an hour. If all stays the same, I'll be set to make $78,000 a year, tax-free. That's roughly the equivalent of a single filer taking home $112,000 a year before taxes, or a married person with 2 kids earning a $98,000 salary.
Have a very Merry Christmas. I really do appreciate it.
After all, what beggar wouldn't appreciate a job like this?
Need money, need food, please help my family. God bless. Simple as that, really.
But as night fell, my simple gig became more challenging after this man moved in on my intersection. A local beggar who we discovered is one of the best cons in town.
What's up, man? How you doing?
His tell-all interview, that's tomorrow night, just before 6.
So what are we planning to do with this stack of $300? I'm sure many of you at home are wondering that right about now. Well, it's very important to us that you know News Center 16 contacted the Salvation Army, which found a needy family that matches the exact description on my sign. On Thursday, we'll donate our money to them before sharing their amazing story with you, and quite an amazing story it really is.
Oh my gosh, Kevin. It's
Tonight we continue our investigation into a deadly two-car accident that left a man dead, 2 other people seriously injured, and 1 person in prison. But some say police didn't treat both drivers equally. So was this wrongdoing on behalf of the Chickamauga Police Department, or the result of a Michigan law now being questioned at the State House? News Center 16's Kevin Lewis has been researching this case for 2 months now. So Kevin, obvious question, how could something like this happen?
Yeah, Terry, many people are arguing that there is a crack in Michigan state law. Under the current system, officers have the final say in who is and isn't tested for drugs and alcohol following any fatal crash. Opponents say that grants police way too much power, leaving zero room for accountability. As we learned, no one feels that way more than the family you're about to meet.
Some 27 years ago, Phil and Sherry Slack vowed to fight.
This is about a year's worth of documentation.
Through thick and the ever-present state of thin.
Hell, 40 years of going through the desert. It's been really hard.
Hard began on March 30th, 2011, when the Slack's 22-year-old son Grant and his co-worker Daniel Fleck threw back a few evening beers. Around the same time, 20-year-old Melanie Knapp, a River Valley High School grad, was at a birthday party for her dad. It was a celebration where the booze flowed free. Just after 9 o'clock that night, Grant drove east on Sawyer Road with Dan in the passenger seat, as Melanie headed north on Minnick towards Sawyer, where she turned left. And the damage was devastating.
You never want to have that knock on the door.
The message was grim.
10-11, clear right.
From officers on the scene, including Sergeant George Knoll with the Chickamauga Township Police Department.
I'm 99.9% sure it's going to be a KO, at least one. It's bad.
Grant's Volkswagen GTI was barely recognizable, a twisted piece of metal that killed Dan on impact and severely injured the Slack's son.
710, go ahead.
You got another ambulance coming?
Some 50 feet away, Melanie was slumped beside her Dodge Stratus, crippled by a broken neck and feet.
I'm trying to think of your name, hon.
Melanie.
Okay.
What happened?
Melanie, it's going to take a while for me to figure this out.
But it didn't take long after EMTs arrived and reported an odor on Melanie, one all too familiar with late-night wrecks.
You did? That's my thought. That's what I asked. Did you smell? I thought I did. I smelled alcohol. I couldn't smell it. I tried, but it could have been injury, but I saw it. She looked glassy-eyed, and the family had just came from dinner.
Despite elevated suspicion, police allowed Melanie's family members to rummage through an active crime scene.
Hi, who are you?
Her brother-in-law.
Your brother-in-law? Okay, you can try to keep her calm, but what are you doing with that?
Investigators won't tell us just what that object was, or what Melanie's brother-in-law can later be seen kicking off the street and into a ditch. An area relatives later canvassed with a flashlight.
There are also many points as you look through the video where you scratch your head and you say, how did that happen?
However, nothing shocked them more than Sergeant Knoll's decision to perform a blood draw on Grant, but not Melanie.
We did have faith in the system. I hate to say that we lost all faith in the system.
A BAC of .12 landed Grant in jail, facing 2 felony charges. A defense attorney cost the Slacks $85,000, a figure which forced them to remortgage their home. Nevertheless, the Slacks say common sense couldn't beat corruption.
Scheduled before a family court judge.
According to court testimony obtained by News Center 16, the Slacks attorney asked Sergeant Knoll on the stand if anyone had smelled alcohol on Melanie. He said he couldn't recall.
Just so you know, I didn't smell alcohol in the female, but one of the medics said they did.
The attorney also asked the sergeant if he ever noticed Melanie had glassy eyes on the night of the crash, to which Knoll replied, no.
I saw it. She looked glassy-eyed, and the family had just came from dinner.
Finally, Sergeant Knoll was asked if he ever indicated a blood draw would be performed on Melanie. Again, Knoll said no.
It would work. It will keep a warrant for that, because it's okay. That won't be a problem.
I knew immediately from what I studied in government and whatnot, that's perjury.
It was almost more than you could take. You wanted to stand up and scream. You wanted to say, time out, I cry foul.
News Center 16 tried contacting Sergeant Knoll and the Chickaming Township Police Department. Both refused to comment. We also called and visited Melanie Knapp's home, where both requests for an interview were neither answered or returned. And then there's Phil Smith, the Three Oaks EMT, who smelled alcohol on Melanie. He told us off camera he couldn't comment on the matter because of HIPAA laws. Which brings us to Lansing and State Senator John Prose's push for a new law.
It was just surprising that there wasn't guidance for law enforcement officials.
Currently, investigating officers across Michigan, like Sergeant Knoll, decide who is and isn't tested for drugs and alcohol following a fatal crash. In its draft state, Senator Prose's bill could make Michigan the 19th U.S. state to mandate all drivers undergo a blood draw, regardless of probable cause.
We generally don't need more legislation. What we and many times need is less regulation and legislation. But in this case, it appears to be something that is reasonable for us to consider.
But it's too little, too late for Grant Slack, whose parents believe their son is single-handedly paying a 15-year penalty for both parties involved.
Was he wrong for being out that night, exceeding the speed limit, and driving with the influence of alcohol? Yes. Did he cause the accident? Was he the sole responsible party? No.
It is worth noting Beth Matthew, the mother of Dan Fleck, says she too is appalled with the way this investigation was handled. That being said, the Berrien County Prosecutor's Office says there simply was not enough probable cause to test Melanie Knapp. You can read their entire statement by viewing our web story at WNDU.com.
So, Kevin, has the mandatory testing law been successful in the states that use it?
I have talked to a number of law enforcement officers here in the state of Indiana. Every single one of them says it just brings that added clarity to these crime scenes, these fatal accident scenes where there is so much chaos. Senator Prose says if you're in favor of this bill that he wants to become a law, contact your state representatives, your state senators, express your support.
Yeah, it would just make sense to test everybody.
It really would.
All right, Kevin, thanks a lot. And coming up, we'll have another check of the weather right after this.
It takes a lot to keep an elementary school subdued.
It was very quiet throughout the school.
This Monday, Karlee Byler did just that.
Karlee was a very caring, very bright student. I think her smile.
Karlee spent her last day inside Mrs. Nesbitt's room.
In her classroom, there's a teddy bear on her seat.
She loved coloring and had just finished the first page to her new book, My Favorite Things. There's no doubt she would have also favored this list, 2 pages of why her classmates used to like what is now in the past.
We talked about how the students have been together for 122 days. And so during that time, you become like a family, and that somebody from our family wasn't there today.
Instead, she was here, an end no first grader deserves to see.
These are some cards that some of the students have made.
They had color and gave hope. Homemade cards even Hallmark couldn't beat.
She was loved a great deal.
School resource officers joined extra counselors to help students cope.
Personally, I said a lot of prayers.
Truth is, teachers needed it too.
It's been a really rough day. You learn about this in class and you read about it in books, but it's been a rough day, and it's going to be a rough couple weeks. Long time.
There's no denying Karlee Byler lived too short a life.
It's a hard day.
But no girl could have lived it any fuller.
Energetic student and had a wonderful smile and really did care about the other members of her class and her teacher and the school. And yeah, Karlee Byler will be a name that definitely will stick out for the rest of my life.
Train that's up there currently.
I've seen cars blow up, but I've never seen a car like this.
Next to a train.
She was like, help, help, I need help.
Soaring like a plane.
I just can't believe it's up there.
This was no typical.
You gotta see this.
Automobile.
Her girlfriend calls me and says, go help Lou. I go help Lou, and I come look at the accident. I was like, I can't help you. You're going to have to dial 911.
Within minutes, police blocked off Bronson Street.
That's a very interesting call.
As firefighters used posts and blocks to secure a car 12 feet up.
I was scared.
With a woman trapped on the road, less traveled.
Somehow she got on the tracks and came down here, tried to turn around and go back, and drove off the edge.
Vibrations from passing trains didn't help the matter, so Route Police shut down all traffic before freeing the woman.
Come on, Lou.
This was Lucinda Doolittle's first railroad adventure.
They'll be like, only my mom would do that.
With plans for it to be her last.
I don't